Good morning and welcome to this week's Wednesday with Warvis. We're here at Altus High School in the auditorium just to give you an update of where we are because we're planning to be finished before the all-school production, which is February 24th and 25th. It's coming very quickly. So hopefully you get the opportunity to come and support the students that have worked so hard. They've been waiting since last semester to get in here and get that done. But it's coming along really well. If you'll recall, with MAPS 1 money, we were able to do phase 1, which was the carpeting, the new flooring, some of the painting, the curtains and the rigging and the lights up on the stage. Well, phase 2 is coming out of MAPS 2 with renovations of the restroom. We put that off because it was so expensive with the fire suppression system, and we were also waiting on the lighting because we knew that the ceiling would be all tore up because of the fire suppression. So the fire suppression has been put in, the ceiling is in, it hasn't been painted yet, and the new lighting here in the auditorium is done. And if you can tell, it's got round lighting. It's really, really bright compared to what it usually is. It can be dimmed, but it's coming along really, really well. Now we're here in the lobby of the auditorium where lots of work is being done. The floors are going to stay the same. They're terrazzo, but we're adding tile and drywall to the walls. The ceiling has been dropped to hide the fire suppression system. And there'll be LED lighting along the edges. The round lighting that you saw in the main part of the auditorium will be there as well. Refurbish the wood. And then we'll show you the restroom. Remember, we talked a little bit that it's going to be different when you first walk in. When you turn to the left, it'll be the female side as opposed to the male side as before. There'll be water fountains over there. Again, tile and drywall on the walls. And then as we walk into the restroom, you'll be able to see that it's much, much bigger. Here on the ladies' side, there's 13 stalls as opposed to, I'm not real sure how many there were, like 2 or 4, something like that. But you can see we've added on to the building, and there's going to be several stalls. There'll be some handicapped stalls over in the corner. And then there's a big vanity that's got 4 different sink areas here on the ladies' side. Now as you walk in, you turn right, which used to be the female side. Now it's the side for the males' restrooms. But before you get to the boys' restroom, there'll be 2 restrooms, family style. And then you walk on back and there'll be a door. And then the men's restroom on this side. There will be toilets and urinals on both sides, and then the sinks, vanities right here. Now we're here on the outside of the auditorium in the front. Now, hopefully some of you have already been by and seen it, but of course we had to add on to make room for the restrooms, but we could not match the brick, and so we used this rock stone to just make a contrast. But to tie it into the old building, when they tore down the restrooms, they saved some of the bricks and made the 2 soldier rows. So that's original brick from the old auditorium, and it just ties in really well when you go around to the side. If you recall, right here there was a long ramp, handicap ramp, and we're doing it a little bit different. The way the new ramp is going to be, it's going to be one right here, and you will come up the ramp here, go on around up, and then it'll eventually end up there by that door. So it's more like a square. Another structural architectural design of the new auditorium face is the tile. We added this beautiful tile a few years ago on phase 1 of the renovations. And so to tie it in, this big purple wall, there's one on both sides and it goes very high above the roof line. It will be this same brown tile just to make it architecturally function and look really well. One thing I do want to talk about that we haven't talked about before, everything we've talked about up to this point has been about the auditorium being paid with taxpayer money, and we felt like was a need. I want to talk to you about a want that we've talked about in Altus Public Schools. Here on the ramp is about a 10 by 12 planter, and it's very hard to have a planter here in southwest Oklahoma. It gets so hot. So we're going to fill this with concrete, and what we would like to do is to add a bronze sculpture of a bulldog that will be 6 feet tall. I'll show you a little bit more about that here in a little bit. But again, it would be a bulldog that would go in the middle of this concrete, and we envision him looking out across the campus at Altus High School. He's a beautiful bronze. He'd be made. He's very expensive. He's $85,000. One exciting thing is we've already had a $20,000 anonymous donor that went towards that. So we're trying to get the word out to see if that's something the public would want and would help fundraise and help us pay for the bulldog. But again, it'd be a bronze 6 foot bulldog right here. He could be decorated for Christmas or whatever the occasion might be. A great photo op, but he would be a good piece of art here at the auditorium that would last forever. Well, you saw just a short video of a projection of what the Bulldog would look like. And again, he'll be bronze. And I'm going to show you in some still pictures of where he'd be. I've just showed you physically where he would be. But again, here's the front of the auditorium, how it's supposed to look. He'll be right here on that 10 by 12 slab where the ramp, the handicap ramp would go. And here's just another angle of it. And again, he's going to look south, kind of south, southwest. So he's looking across the campus. Now, the next picture that I'm going to show you shows him at the angle, but it was one of the first bulldogs that we did, and he actually looks like a lab. But the video that you saw is the bulldog that we're going to do. But here's how he will sit and look across the campus. Again, this isn't him. This is more of a lab-looking dog. But again, we have a $20,000 donation. We are not going to use taxpayer money for it because we feel like it's not a need, it's a want. But I think it's a great piece of art that would last forever and goes perfect with the auditorium and goes with the whole theme of the high school. So if anyone's interested in donating, just contact someone here at the board and we can make those arrangements. Again, we have 20,000 and he's going to cost 85,000. 6 months ago when we were talking about it originally, he was 75,000. So he's just going to go up the way prices are. So we really want to try to get this done. So hopefully we get some positive feedback from you and some ideas on how we can sell this as to get our donations. Also, this week's a busy week. We have the Cluster Harrington Shortgrass Invitational Tournament begins Thursday, so hopefully you can come out and support our basketball teams. They'll be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then Friday afternoon and evening is swim senior night and area playoffs. So I can't wait for that. It's going to be a busy week. Hopefully we can stay in school all week. Thank you so much for your hard work. I know you've been covering classes, doubling up classes, trying to keep the kids safe, trying to keep yourselves safe. But the ultimate goal is to stay in school as much as possible because we all know how important it is for our kids to be in school for many reasons. I won't even get into that. But thank you for your hard work keeping us in school. If by chance we have to cancel, don't take it personal. We've all done the very best we can do. And as always, may God continue to bless Altus Public Schools.